I'm not drinking it anymore, just holding on to something that used to bring comfort. Like habit, like routine, like a marriage I thought I understood. I stare into the dark liquid, bitter and stale, and wonder, at what exact point did my life morph into a parody of a country song? You know the kind. The dog runs away, the truck breaks down, and the woman you love starts wearing someone else's cologne. Only, this isn't a radio tune, it's the unraveling of 15 years of my life. The house groans softly around me. It's old, the floorboards noisy, the plumbing a little moody. I've always told myself I'd fix that squeaky front door one day. Never did. Now it feels symbolic, like I'd been ignoring all kinds of creaks in my life, hoping they'd just quiet down on their own. Sleep? Haven't seen her since Jessica started her fitness journey. She's been coming home later and later, dressed to end and reeking of someone else's aftershave. It's subtle, but only if you're not looking for it. I was slow to see it, but once you start paying attention, the lies glow neon. Name's Eddie Malloy. I build homes for a living. Used to believe I'd built one of my own, 15 years married to a woman who once looked at me like I was the punchline and the promise all rolled into one. We had 2 kids, decent grades, softball practice, Sunday barbecues. I ran a small construction outfit. We weren't flashy, but we were steady. At least I thought we were. Then the front door groans open. That same infuriating creak again. I look up, right on cue. Jessica tiptoes in like a thief. She's barefoot, heels in hand, hair messy in a way that's way too styled to be accidental. She freezes when she sees me sitting there in the dark. Eddie, you're up? Her voice is soft, forced casual, like she can talk her way out of this with a gentle tone and a tilted head. Like I'm some idiot she forgot taught her how to read a blueprint. Couldn't sleep, I say, voice flat. Thought your work trip was tomorrow morning. She swallows. It got canceled. I texted you. I slowly raise her phone from the table and dangle it. Hard to text from a phone you left behind. The color drains from her face. It's subtle, unless you're really watching. I've been watching. I must have grabbed the wrong one, she says quickly, stepping forward, hand out. I pull it back. Weird. This one's been buzzing all night. Duke's wondering when you're coming back to bed. That hits. She jerks back like I slapped her. Her lips part, but no sound follows. And for a moment, I just stare at her. At the stranger I once knew inside and out. I can explain. Oh, I'm sure you've got a script, I say, scrolling through the phone. You've had plenty of practice. Your girls' night out was a sleepover with Duke, complete with bicep emojis and no pants. She stiffens. The HR face comes on, neutral, poised, detached. I've seen her use it in board meetings and school conferences. She's trying to reframe, redirect. You read my messages? That's a violation, Eddie. I actually laugh. Privacy doesn't survive betrayal, Jess. Neither does trust, or underwear, apparently, since Duke says you left yours behind. She flinches. Her perfect facade cracks just a little. It's not what you think, I tilt my head. Really? Because I think you've been screwing a guy named Duke for months while telling me you're connecting with yourself. Her breath hitches. Another message lights up the screen. Duke, missing that sweet mouth already. Can't wait for round 2, babe. I turn the screen toward her. Her jaw quivers. She opens her mouth, but all that comes out is a dry, Eddie. Still want to argue? She steps back, face crumpling. The tears come, but they're not for what she's done. They're panic. Guilt laced with self-preservation. She's not sorry she cheated. She's sorry I found out. It didn't mean anything, she whispers. I nod slowly. It meant something to me. It wasn't love. It was stupid. I don't even like him that much. We have history, Eddie. We have a family. We had something, Jess. You ended it. She reaches out. I don't move. Please don't throw it all away. We can fix this. You and I... You made your choice in someone else's bed, I cut in. You can't undo that just because you're scared now. I stand up. My body feels heavier than it did an hour ago, like the weight of denial has finally shifted into something solid, something final. I set her phone down on the counter. She watches it like it might explode. I start for the stairs. Her voice breaks behind me. Eddie, wait, we need to talk. I pause and turn back. In the soft kitchen light, she suddenly looks smaller, not glamorous, not seductive, just tired, older. Like whatever spell she'd been under had worn off, and now she was waking up in a reality she didn't recognize. No, Jess, I say quietly. We talked. I just didn't know it was a monologue. She takes a shaky step forward. Don't do this. Don't walk away. You married a guy who builds houses, I say, voice low and steady. But you forgot. Before I ever built one, I learned how to tear 'em down. Clean, fast, thorough. She blinks. That lands. She knows I'm not just talking about drywall and framing. You're going to ruin everything. I nod once. Exactly. Then I turn and walk upstairs, step by step, while her voice rises in a mix of crying and begging. It doesn't stop me. It doesn't even slow me down. She's not crying for me. She's crying for the life she threw away and the fallout she didn't expect. She's not sorry she cheated. She's terrified of what comes next. And she should be, because the good guy, he's finally done being good. Morning hits fast. I'm already in my workshop with coffee and her phone, planning my next move. She's still asleep, worn out from last night's exercise. My phone rings. It's Barney O'Sullivan, my right-hand man and the closest thing I've got to a best friend. Former convict, brilliant carpenter, sharp as heck. You sound like death, he says. Feel worse. Can you swing by? I need your specialty. The one involving tech or trouble? Tech, for now, he chuckles. 20 minutes. While I wait, I keep scrolling. 6 months of lies, right there in black and white. The affair started in Portland. Duke, real name Derek Duvall, is an ex-military grunt turned personal trainer. Big muscles, small brain. Exactly what Jessica wanted, apparently. The messages said it all. Jessica was bored, unimpressed, and apparently reinvigorated by a guy named Derek who made her feel alive again. She vented about our dull life, complained I never surprised her, and coordinated their secret rendezvous with military precision. Fake girls' nights, lies about Chloe, contingency plans in case I caught on. Barney rolled into my workshop in his dented truck, tool belt rattling. He's 55, short and solid, with the kind of hands that can build a deck or disable a security system. Jail taught him more than trade school ever could. Man, Eddie, you look wrecked. Close. Wife's cheating. Guy calls himself Duke. Barney's jaw tightened. To him, adultery was almost unforgivable. That Ice Queen finally slipped. I handed him Jessica's phone. I need a clone. Copy everything without her knowing. Barney grinned, already studying it. iPhone 12? Easy job. What's the game plan? Collect proof. Then I make sure Duke learns what it feels like to be on the wrong end of a surprise. You're going full-on vengeance? She wasn't sorry last night, just scared she got caught. As Barney tapped away, I called Tom Henderson, my lawyer and a longtime friend. I'd helped renovate his office for almost nothing, so he owed me one. Eddie, how's the family? That's actually what I'm calling about. Hypothetical divorce talk. Tom got serious. All right, hypothetically speaking, let's say there's proof of an affair. How do you protect assets? You'd want to gather as much evidence as possible. Maine's no fault, but adultery still influences alimony and custody. Messages, receipts, anything showing shared money spent on the affair. Hotels, meals, whatever. How long do you collect? Long enough to build a clean, undeniable case, but not so long it looks like you accepted it. I hung up. Barney handed me the phone and a second device, an exact clone. This baby tracks everything. She won't know you're watching. What do I owe you? Nothing. But when it's Duke confrontation time, I'm coming. Barney, don't worry, no fists, just a friendly chat. His grin made me almost pity Derek. Almost. Back inside, Jessica acted like nothing happened. Fully dressed, fresh coffee, fake cheerful tone. Morning, honey. Sleep okay? Like a rock. Found your phone on the counter. She grabbed it, scanned the messages, smiled at Duke's overnight texts, until she remembered I was standing there. Anything interesting? Just work stuff. Sure. In my pocket, her clone buzzed. Still thinking about last night. Can't wait for round 2. She kissed my cheek. I'll be late. Team dinner with the office. Enjoy. She would. As her car pulled away, Mrs. Keene next door waved me down. 75, sharp as a hawk. Morning, Eddie. Jessica's leaving early again, huh? Work things. Funny. I saw a big guy drop her off yesterday morning. Black pickup. Looked like a wrestler. My pulse spiked, but I played it cool. Client, maybe. Could be. She looked awfully cozy with him. Just thought you should know. Appreciate it, Mrs. Keene. Back inside, I checked the clone. Duke had texted his address and asked when she'd arrive. So much for that team dinner. I sat down and started compiling. Names, dates, receipts, locations. A full audit of her betrayal. Tom was right. Proof matters. But this wasn't just about court. I was building something much more satisfying. A trap. 4th of July in our town looks like a postcard. Flags waving, kids laughing, burgers sizzling in every yard. But this year, the real fireworks are mine. I'm driving the lead truck for Malloy Construction's float. Nothing special, just my guys tossing candy. But what makes today different is that Jessica and Duke decided to go public. Subtlety's hard when you're 6'3" and jacked, strolling next to a giggling married woman in the sundress I gave her last anniversary. Barney rides up front, calm as ever, keeping tabs. In the back, Mike, Tommy, and Big Jim. My crew knows this isn't just a parade. It's a performance. There they are, Barney nods. Your wife and Captain America. Right by Murphy's Hardware, prime visibility. Chloe's there too, playing lookout like always. Stick to the plan, I tell Barney. Nothing illegal, nothing we can't explain. Scout's honor, he smirks. Though I was never technically a scout. As our float rolls down Main Street, I spot him, Duke. He nudges Jessica and gestures toward me behind the wheel. She freezes, but he just grins and wraps his arm around her like he owns the place. I bring the truck to a slow stop, pretending to let kids scoop up fallen candy. Duke sees an opening and strides over. Eddie Malloy, right? Derek Duvall. We should talk. Half the town is now watching, ears perked. Perfect. Talk about what, Derek? About how your wife deserves better than whatever you've been giving her. Unreal. He's bragging about the affair like he's doing community service. Jessica tugs his arm, but he's too busy playing alpha. She told me everything. How you're dull, how you don't meet her needs. Good thing she found someone who can. The crowd's buzz grows louder. Even Mrs. Keene's recording like it's breaking news. That right? I step down from the truck. What exactly has she been missing? Passion, excitement, a real man. I chuckle, loud and sharp. You talk about her like she's furniture, not a person. Says a lot about your idea of real. I take what I want, he sneers. Then he makes his move, shoves me hard into the truck. Phones are out now, catching every second. She's mine now. Deal with it. I straighten calmly. Good point. Let's deal with it. I nod at Barney in the cab. He hits the remote. Boom. The first cannon explodes in red, white, and blue confetti, mixed with glitter and a custom stink bomb Barney brewed up himself. Smells like rotten skunk eggs and despair. Duke gags, stumbling, right into cannon 2. This one launches sticky dyed paper soaked in syrup. He slips, arms flailing, and face plants straight into a pile of horse manure left by the parade's mounted unit. The crowd bursts into laughter. Phones flash, kids cheer, adults clap. Mrs. Keene films like she's covering the Olympics. Duke rises, drenched in paint, glitter, and filth. He smells so bad people are backing away. Oh, no! I shout. Must have misfired. You all right, Derek? He blinks through the mess, stunned. Jessica looks mortified. Chloe's slipping around trying to help. Barney yells from the truck. These old surplus cannons, never reliable. I walk over and offer my hand. Need a lift? He hesitates, but takes it. I lean in and whisper, touch what's mine again, and next time, you won't get glitter. His face drops. He knows this wasn't random. You're insane, he mutters. I smile. Shh. Kids watching. Phones keep rolling. His humiliation is now public record. This isn't over, he growls. No, I reply. It's just getting started. Paramedics arrive to check him over. Nothing hurt but his pride. Jessica stands nearby, stained and silent. Chloe is live streaming every second. As the truck pulls away, I wave to the crowd like royalty. Mrs. Keene texts me. Best parade ever, 50 shares and counting. By nightfall, Derek will be internet famous for all the wrong reasons. And Jessica? She'll be known as the woman who comforted a man who smelled like a compost bin while her husband smiled and drove off. Sometimes you don't need revenge, just the right stage. And today, Duke got a full Broadway production. 3 days later, Derek's still simmering. The cloned phone reveals his text to Jessica. Rage, threats, promises to make me pay. He doesn't get it. I'm always ahead. It's almost midnight when Barney calls, voice sharp. Eddie, get down to the Morrison site. Now. What happened? Someone wrecked it. Tires slashed, threats painted, tools ruined. Pro job, real quiet. I'm dressed and out the door in minutes. The Morrison build is our biggest project, a custom home on the edge of town. When I get there, my gut sinks. Every piece of heavy machinery is damaged. The work trucks are trashed. The tool trailer's been torn open. Concrete powder is everywhere. Coating gear that'll never work again. But the final touch? Spray painted across the trailer in big red letters, Malloy is a dead man. Barney stands in the middle of the destruction, holding something. Found this stuck on the fence, he says grimly. It's a torn scrap, black fabric with a gold emblem. the same design plastered across the shirt Derek wore in his last gym selfie, flexing like he runs the world. The caption? Handling business like a real man. Amateur hour, I mutter. He's seen too many revenge thrillers. Barney frowns at the damage around us. What's the plan here, Eddie? We're looking at weeks of delay. My mind's already moving. Derek wanted to raise the stakes? Fine. He just crossed a line he shouldn't have. This isn't just my paycheck. It's how my entire crew feeds their families. He didn't just attack me. He hit all of us. Get the guys here within the hour. Phones, gear, whatever they need for an all-nighter. Barney hesitates. You sure? I nod. He gave us exactly what we need to shut this down. As Barney starts calling the crew, I inspect the destruction. Derek's military training is obvious. He targeted the core machinery to paralyze the site. But his temper made him sloppy. Cameras from nearby homes might have caught everything, and that torn shirt? It's the thread unraveling the whole thing. The crew shows up like soldiers reporting for duty. Mike Santos, our wiring wizard, tosses a metal-clanking duffel on the ground. Tommy Chen's got his laptop and enough gear to start his own surveillance van. Big Jim Morrison, no relation to the client, is stretching like he's prepping for a brawl. Fellas, I start. Derek Duvall thinks he can wipe out our business to save face. He doesn't know who he's messing with. I show them the site, the graffiti, and Derek's ripped shirt. Their expressions go from concerned to furious. They get it. This wasn't vandalism. This was personal. Tommy, check if the Hendersons' cams next door caught anything. Mike, I want a stealth security setup. Cameras, audio, everything. Hide it like a pro. Big Jim cracks his knuckles. You think he'll come back? He will. Guys like Derek always want to see the fallout. He'll show. Let's be ready. Mike unzips his bag. Inside, military-grade surveillance toys. Infrared, motion sensors, audio triggers. By sunrise, this place will be tighter than a bank vault. Start setting up, Tommy. What do we have? Tommy's already watching footage. Got him. Full face, license plate, timestamps. 2 hours of wrecking our gear on HD. It's even clearer than I hoped. But I'm not rushing to the cops yet. This isn't about pressing charges. This is about setting the stage. Here's the plan, I say. We rebuild tonight, lock this place down, and let him take his next shot. We'll be watching. Barney glances over. And Jessica? You think she knows? I pull out the cloned phone and scroll. Derek's been bragging to her about putting Eddie in his place and promising to end the builder problem for good. Jessica's eating it up, calling him her strong protector. She made her call, I say flatly. Now she lives with it. We spend the night scrubbing away Derek's tantrum and installing Mike's gear. By dawn, the job site looks untouched, except now it's booby-trapped, with surveillance so tight it'd catch a ghost. Derek thought he delivered a message. He doesn't realize he walked into one. As the sun rises and the team heads home for rest, Barney stays behind and pulls me aside. This guy's spiraling fast, he warns. He's not stopping at busted tools. I know, I say. That's why we end it now. What do you need from me? I glance toward the worksite, already calculating. Derek's routine, his ego, his military mindset, it all makes him predictable. You still owe Mickey Torino a favor, right? Barney's eyes narrow. Mickey runs a towing yard with a reputation for creative problem-solving. Mickey owes me big, Barney says. What are you thinking? Derek hits that fancy gym on Route 1 every morning. Same truck, same schedule. What if something inconvenient happened to it while he's flexing in the mirror? A mechanical hiccup? Something expensive, something humbling, something that strands him just long enough to reflect. Barney grins. I'll make some calls. I head home, the cloned phone buzzing in my passenger seat. Derek just messaged Jessica. Phase 1 complete. He can't protect anything. Phase 2 starts tonight. I pick up my real phone and text Derek directly. Appreciate the fabric. My lawyer says it's solid evidence. See you soon. Moments later, he's calling Jessica in full-blown panic. I power off the clone and let him sweat. The nice guy's gone. I'm not just playing anymore. I'm playing to win. The next morning, Derek's black pickup sits steaming on the side of Route 1, hood up, helpless. He's in gym gear, pacing angrily while Mickey Torino's tow truck hoists the vehicle like a trophy. From across the street, I sip coffee in my work truck, Barney beside me, both of us watching. Mickey outdid himself, Barney says with a smirk. Sugar in the tank? Please. This was surgical. Cooling system, starter, electrical. He made it look like the truck aged 20 years in 5 minutes. And no trail? None. Mickey could have taught Houdini a thing or two. Derek's on the phone, clearly calling for help. The cloned phone shows Jessica already texted him back. Can't leave work. Deal with it. His backup plan? Rideshare. Too bad that stretch of Route 1 just happens to sit in a known signal dead zone, one that barely allows calls but no data. He's stuck, stranded, steaming like his truck. Barney chuckles. Think he's starting to get it? Maybe, but if not, I say, Lesson 2's already in motion. So much for his big master plan, I mutter, watching from the truck. Barney raises an eyebrow. He had a plan? Phase 2, according to his texts. I pull up Derek's message thread on the cloned phone and hand it to Barney. He was going to shadow me today, follow me around to job sites, track my habits, prep some kind of ambush for tonight, surveillance, intimidation, the usual tough guy routine. Barney squints at the screen. Hard to play secret agent when you're stranded in gym shorts on the side of the highway. Before either of us can add more, my phone rings. It's Tom Henderson, my lawyer. His voice carries the tone of someone holding a royal flush. Eddie, he says, sounding charged. Remember that little hypothetical we've been walking through? Yeah? Well, that theoretical evidence you provided? Let's just say it's more than sufficient. In fact, I'd say it's the perfect moment to shift from what if to let's go. I lean forward in my seat. Talk to me. You filed today. She's served before dinner. Given the documentation, vandalism, misuse of joint funds, infidelity, you're looking at keeping the house, full custody leverage, the business, and she might even end up paying you spousal support. Also, her boyfriend. He's on the hook for multiple charges. Criminal mischief, harassment, destruction of property. I glance across the street at Derek, still arguing with Mickey, who's unbothered and casually sipping his Dunkin' iced coffee while a trooper scribbles a ticket for obstruction. No more hypotheticals, Tom. File it. Let's go all in. You absolutely sure? I've never been more certain of anything. I hang up just as Barney elbows me gently. Look who decided to show up. Jessica's silver crossover pulls up behind the tow truck. Her movements are tense as she steps out, like she knows she's walked into something that can't be undone. Derek immediately launches into animated gesturing, probably spinning a tale where he's the poor victim in some grand scheme I've cooked up. She keeps glancing over her shoulder, visibly rattled. Barney watches, arms folded. Feel like making an appearance? I shake my head. No need, they're heading this way. Sure enough, after Mickey finishes towing the truck away, with Derek's ego trailing behind in pieces, Jessica drives him straight to our job site. They're easy to read. He's fuming, and she's clinging to damage control mode. We're mid-renovation on the Hendricks house. My guys pause when the car pulls up. They recognize Derek instantly. The air shifts, thick with tension. Derek charges across the site, still in gym clothes, flushed and furious. You think this is funny, you smug bastard? What the heck did you do to my truck? I don't even glance at him, focused on adjusting the foundation frame. Sorry. Are you speaking to me? Because I've been here since sunrise. Ask the crew. Cut the crap, Eddie. First the parade, now this stunt. You've been screwing with me, and it ends today. I stand slowly and finally face him. Behind me, my crew subtly steps forward, Mike's arms crossed, Tommy watching silently, and Big Jim cracking his knuckles with deliberate calm. Derek may be strong, but he's clearly outnumbered and out of his depth here. Truck trouble, huh? I say. Maybe next time don't leave it parked in the middle of nowhere. Happens to the best of us. You think you're clever, don't you? Jessica gets out of the car now. She looks paler than I've seen her, eyes darting, posture shrinking. This isn't the Derek she imagined, the confident, composed protector. This is someone different, unstable, loud, dangerous. Derek, let's just go, she murmurs, almost pleading. No, this ends now. He steps closer, puffed up with testosterone and adrenaline. But before he gets too far, Big Jim positions himself between us. Problem here, boss? He asks calmly. Jim is 6'4", 280, and looks like he could carry a refrigerator up 3 flights without breathing heavy. Derek sees the wall he's walked into. No issue, I reply without looking away from Derek. He was just leaving. Derek pulls out his phone and waves it like a tool. I'm calling the cops. You've crossed the line. Harassment, vandalism, threats. Hope you're ready for cuffs, tough guy. Great idea, I say with a smile. Call them. As Derek angrily dials, I glance at Tommy and send a quiet text. Now. Tommy nods, flips open his laptop, and starts queuing up our ace. The state trooper who cited Derek earlier is the one who responds, clearly not thrilled to be seeing him again. "What seems to be the issue?" the trooper asks. Derek goes full drama, throwing out buzzwords like intimidation, retaliation, and sabotage. He's got the tone of a man expecting sympathy, or at least doubt. Jessica, standing behind him, watches it all. She's not saying a word now. Before the officer can jot anything down, Tommy steps forward. "Before you hear anything," he says respectfully, "you might want to check this." He turns the laptop toward the trooper. The screen displays crystal clear footage of Derek, 3 nights ago, smashing equipment, spray painting threats, and causing thousands in damages. The camera angle is perfect. The lighting's pristine. The timestamp seals it. The cop's whole demeanor shifts. "Mr. Duvall, that you in the video? Wait, this isn't... You're under arrest for felony property destruction, criminal mischief, and making terroristic threats." Jessica gasps as the cuffs go on. Derek rants, accuses us of setting him up, but it's over. The evidence is inarguable, and the handcuffs are real. As they walk him toward the cruiser, Jessica turns to me, eyes filled with disbelief. "Eddie, I swear, I didn't know. I didn't know he did this." I open the cloned phone and show her her own words. Texts praising Derek for teaching me a lesson, telling him how strong and protective he is for handling the Eddie problem. "You sure about that?" I ask coldly. Her expression collapses, and she finally sees just how much I've known and how far ahead I've been. "We need to talk," she whispers, voice cracking. "No," I say, handing her a thick envelope. "We need legal representation. You've been served." She stares at the divorce papers, stunned, like they're in a language she can't read. Behind her, Derek screams my name from the patrol car window as it drives away. "Eddie, please, don't do this. We can fix it." I shake my head. "We could have fixed it when you were honest, before you picked a narcissist over your family. Now, you get to explain to the kids why mommy's boyfriend is in jail and daddy's done being your doormat." As Jessica pulled away, clutching the divorce envelope with trembling hands and tears streaking her face, Barney gave my shoulder a firm squeeze. "You think that's the final act? With Derek sitting in a jail cell and Jessica officially served? That part's closed, but the whole saga, far from over." My phone buzzed. A message from Tom Henderson lit up the screen. "Heard about the arrest? Perfect timing. Couldn't have scripted it better. Court's going to be brutal, for her. Turns out sometimes the good guy doesn't need to fight dirty. He just waits patiently while the bad guys set their own traps, then hands them the rope and watches them trip." 2 weeks later, Derek was out on bail and radiating pure fury. The cloned phone, still undetected by Jessica, painted a clear picture of their unraveling affair. Derek was livid she never warned him I was tracking his every move. She, in turn, blamed his arrogance for landing him behind bars. Watching them implode was like front-row seats to a slow-motion car crash. But Derek wasn't backing down. Jail hadn't humbled him. It just made him reckless. His texts, increasingly deranged, hinted at vague but violent plans. "I'm going to end this once and for all. He's not going to be a problem much longer." The tone alone made it clear. He wasn't thinking straight. So when Barney called at 11 p.m. on a Friday, I already had a feeling. "Eddie, Derek's at Murphy's, wasted and loud, telling everyone he's going to finish what he started with you." Murphy's wasn't just a bar. It was home turf, a working man's joint filled with guys who knew me and my story. If Derek was there ranting, it wasn't by accident. He wanted an audience. "How drunk?" "Drunk enough to think he's invincible. Sober enough to still be dangerous. I'm on my way." "Eddie, this smells like bait. Derek doesn't stumble into a bar full of union guys without a plan." Barney was right, but Derek's planning had always been theatrical. What he didn't understand was that Murphy's wasn't neutral ground. It was the heart of Local 247, the construction union. Everyone in there had my back. He wasn't walking into a bar, he was walking into a verdict. When I pulled into the lot, I spotted his rental immediately. It stuck out like a sore thumb among the fleet of battered pickups and plaster-stained work vans. His own truck, still collecting dust at Mickey's impound yard. Inside, tension crackled. Derek was holding court at the bar, arms flying as he ranted about some contractor with an ego problem, still in his gym gear, still trying to look tough. Sean Murphy, the bartender and namesake's grandson, gave me a nod and a sigh. He's been here 2 hours. Mouth hasn't stopped. As soon as Derek noticed me, he stood, wobbling slightly. Well, well, look who finally shows his face. Conversations around us halted. Dozens of eyes turned toward us. The temperature of the room dropped. "Derek," I said calmly. Heard you had something to say. You're absolutely right, I do. He stepped away from the bar, fists twitching from adrenaline. Let's end this. Man to man. And what? You smashed up my gear, got cuffed, and now you're looking at felony charges. Seems pretty final to me. You ruined everything. My vehicle, my rep, my future. Your future? I laughed, loud and sharp. You're talking about my wife, the woman you've been sneaking around with behind my back for half a year. The one who encouraged you to trash my business. That future? Low murmurs rippled through the bar. A few guys visibly recoiled. These were the same men who'd once greeted Jessica at holiday parties and union cookouts. They weren't fans of betrayal. She picked me, Eddie, Derek growled. Face it. Funny, I said, pulling out my phone, because she's been second-guessing that decision. Want proof? Derek froze. You're bluffing, I read aloud. Derek's scaring me. The arrest, the drinking, the temper. This isn't what I thought it'd be. Maybe Eddie was right. The bar exploded in laughter. Derek's tough guy persona collapsed in real time as it dawned on him. Jessica had turned on him, and worse, I had it all. You bastard! He lunged at me, sloppy and slow. I sidestepped easily, and he plowed into a table full of electricians. Beer spilled, chairs toppled. The spark of a bar brawl flickered, until Big Jim stood up. Big Jim was 6'4" of pure granite. He lifted Derek like a disobedient toddler. This is a pub, not a cage match, Jim said coolly. Derek swung at him. Bad call. Jim caught the punch midair and clamped down just hard enough to make Derek rethink his life choices. You're going to apologize for the drinks, Jim added. Then you're going to walk out. I'm not apologizing for crap. This is between me and Eddie, a voice cut in from the back. No, this is between you and all of us. Tommy Chen stepped forward, behind him Mike Santos, then Barney, then a whole crowd of men Derek didn't know but whose loyalty was not in question. When you trashed Eddie's job site, Tommy said, you didn't just hurt his business, you threatened our work, our families. That makes it personal. Derek scanned the faces. They were done with him. This wasn't a one-on-one showdown. It was the entire community making it clear. He didn't belong. What do you want? He asked, his bravado cracking. I stepped closer and spoke low enough for only him to hear. I want you out. Of this town, this state, our lives. Jessica decided to fix our marriage, you? You're just the mistake she regrets. His eyes went wide. She picked you? She picked her kids, her home, her real life. You were just a detour. All the air drained from him. The fight left his shoulders. He turned toward the door, defeated. This isn't over, he muttered weakly. It is for you, I replied. If you violate your bail, you're going back inside. Stick around, and these guys will make your life heck. You can do the math. He stumbled toward the exit but paused at the door. She'll cheat again, he spat. Women like Jessica always do. Maybe, I said. But that'll be between her and me, not you and anyone else. You're out of the picture. He left. The bar roared. Sean poured drinks on the house. Someone cranked up the jukebox. Take this job and shove it blared over the speakers. Barney raised a bottle. To Eddie Malloy, the guy who proved good men don't always finish last. The toast was loud, proud, and real. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a strange kind of calm. Not joy, exactly, but peace. That heavy, hard-earned kind you only get after you fought for something that mattered. My phone buzzed again. Jessica, Derek's leaving, says he's done with Maine. Can we talk? Sean caught my eye. That your wife? Might be, I said. But one thing's certain. Derek Duvall's not our problem anymore. The cheer that followed could have shaken the windows. Derek came looking for a war. He just didn't realize he'd walked into the heart of a town that protects its own. He tried to pick off one man and found himself up against a whole brotherhood. Outside, his rentals screeched down the street, fading into the dark. Inside, the party raged on till last call. And I went home, ready to face whatever was left with Jessica. But that's another chapter. Tonight, the good guy got the final say.